Hi guys, Patty from Patty's Crafty Spot, and today I'm here to share with you the new release for December from Crealies. So I'll show you this in 1 second. So we have brand new on the edge dies, and look at how awesome these are. If you know me, you know very well that I love on the edge dies, and these ones are huge. So to put in perspective of how much bigger these are, let me show you the normal ones we usually work with. So this is the normal size that we always usually work with when we're creating. But look at how much bigger. Look at this is the little one, and then this is the big one. So you can see how much more space that these new big ones will give us, which are going to be so much fun to play with. I really wish it wasn't holiday time, so I had more time to play with these, because if you know, I am screaming about these ones. So anyway, let me give you a measurement just in case you are wondering. So these are approximately 8¼ inches long, so it gives you a nice big area to make fancy. So there's all different ones now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new ones. Look at those. That's so pretty. So for this one, I'm using this video. I'm going to use that one. There is also this great big new longer pocket, an extra large pocket. So if you're familiar with all the others, this was the large one right here. And then now we have the extra large one. So you can see how much bigger that is too. So making these mini albums are going to be so much fun. And then this one comes with 2 dies. So they're little, so you can have like some colored cardstock and then a pattern in it, or whatever way you want to do those. So those are fun. So let me show you what I made. So I've been making all of the mini albums that I've been making they're approximately 8 by 8, I'm calling them, even though the books themselves are a little bigger, but you can use an 8 by 8 paper pad. So for example, this is the 8 by 8 paper pad we're working here, and this page I ripped out, and then if you lay it on top, you can get to use your full 8 by 8 paper. So let me just show you what I made. So this is using, which die was it? This one here. So this is the one I used for my page. So I created a little pocket on the bottom, and it's held down by some photo mats. And then it just opens up like this. So I put a pocket up here. I used the new extra large pocket die. And I put a pocket up there. You can always leave room for photos or whatever. But this page here is nice because on the albums I've been making, if you wanted a different idea for a page design, you can use this one. So once you open it up on the inside, using that bottom pocket still, room for photos. And then I wanted to do a nice cute play on that new pocket. So go ahead and created this little pocket up here that I attached. And it's just room for a little extra photos and stuff you can hide away. And then it just closes down. I did put a magnetic closure on here, so it will keep it shut. And then it just closes down, and then it just all tucks inside just like that. So anyway, let's go ahead and let me show you how to get started. So you're going to need a piece of paper. This is 8¼ by 8¼ because this is the size of our base pages we've been using. And my design paper, and so far I've cut out 2 of the large pockets. That's going to be one for the pocket, one for the flap. And then I cut a piece of cardstock out, and this one here is 7 by 4, and that's going to be the backing for my pocket that's going to get attached. So first things first is I'm going to go ahead and choose which die that I want to go ahead and make for my pocket. And let me just see real quick what I did here. Did I use the same or different? I did do different. So actually I already used this one, didn't I? No, I didn't. I used that one. So, okay. I wanted to use different dies, so I just wanted to make sure. So I did not use this one yet. I also did not use, so I used this one and this one. And I used that one. So I gotta choose three. So I'm gonna use this one. And I'll use this one. That might work cute for that pocket there. And, or maybe this one, actually. Because I like the little divot down there for the bottom of my envelope, so I'm going to use that for that. And then the inside, I'll use that one, and then I want to use this one down here. Alright, so that saves me two more to use another time. So we're going to use those three. See if I can remember what I'm going to do when I build it. Alright, so let's get started first off with our pocket. So the flap of my pocket, let's see, I'm going to use this for my flap. So what I'm going to do is fold these sides down just because it makes it easier for centering. And I'm going to eyeball it at first to see what looks good. So I'm going to make a mark at 2 inches, I think. And then that's where I'm going to go ahead and tape down my die to cut. So line it up. Two inches there. And 2 inches there. So those are where I'm going to make my marks. And my tapes, this is my flap, so that is this die. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to eyeball it for the most part. However, because I'm going to lay it right here, so my 2-inch marks are right here and here, and that's where I'm going to put this die. So for the most part, you can kind of see, because of all the little decorative elements on here, you can kind of see, like if you're over here, you obviously can see I have so much space here, but nothing here. So I'm just going to like eyeball it to center it, and that's what I'm going to use as my guide. So I'm going to get some tape out. And I'm going to figure out my center. And I think that looks good. And I'm going to cut that out. Alright, so I went ahead and cut that out. And take the tape off. And look how pretty the top of our envelope is going to be. So that right there will look pretty, and it's going to come down on top of my envelope. So pretty. Looks nice. Alright, so what we can do right now real quick is these side flaps, you can either cut them off or you can tape them down, glue them down, tape them down, whatever. I prefer to tape mine down just because I like the nice clean edge that sometimes if you cut it off you're not going to get. So this way, oops. There we go. And that will be that one. So I also need to decide what I'm going to use for my pocket. So my top page, I want to do these peacock, oh no, this side, these peacocks here, I like that. So I want to do my envelope. I think we will do, I think we're going to go all peacock. So let me take this piece out. Oops. Alright, this is going to be my envelope. So I need to cut a piece on here. So let me go ahead and cut that out. So I went ahead and I cut my paper down to the width of what my pocket's going to be. So you can see a little bit of black here and on this side. So what I like to do is, because I need to make sure, because of how I laid this die out, I want to make sure that I can cut this piece to make sure it matches. So the way I do that is, this obviously is going to be my top. So I'm just going to slide it under like this. And I'm going to make sure my spacing is exactly how I want it on these two spots here. And I'm going to go ahead and just stick it down with some not super sticky tape. And then I'm going to flip it over so you can see right here. So I want to make sure I'm going to cut that out there. So I just take a pencil and I'm just going to trace out my piece. Just like that. If you have directional paper too, you need to make sure that you are aware of the direction your paper is going. And I'm going to take my die. So I know it's hard to see. You can kind of see where I drew it out. So what I'm going to do now is I am just going to lay this on top of my marks. So and you can go a little above it if you want. That's fine. The thing is, you just want to make sure like you're not cutting it like this, because obviously you're not going to be even. But if you get most of it lined up to where it goes, and that looks good right there. So let me cut that out. Okay, cut that out. One thing with these dies, you do need a bigger cutting area. So I'm using my big spellbinders to cut those out. So I have that. I can take this off. And I go ahead and set this on top now. You can see how pretty. So you can see the little bit of border. So let me just fold this down. So now I need to cut it off to the spot that I need. So I'm going to set it down. You know, I'm going to make a mark there. So that's where I need to cut. So I just sliced that piece off right there. And now it should fit right on my envelope like that. All right, so now I'm going to do the same thing to the back side and go ahead and cut that piece out. And then we can have everything all matching. So let me just glue that down first. If you cut all the pieces out while you are, before you assemble, it makes it much easier. Because once you put it together, it does get harder to line things up. And My glue doesn't want to cooperate. Okay. And stick this little guy down. And everything looks even. Alright, so before I forget, because this is going to be a magnetic closure, I am going to go ahead and stick on a disc. So I'm just going to put a little disc on the back because I don't want to forget to put it on. And that will be like that. So now I need to figure out my inside papers and cut again just like I did. So maybe we will go with, kind of thinking, I know the camera is not going to like that, but visually I think that looks pretty. So I'm going to use that for my inside. And I need this pocket here as well. So now I need to go ahead and cut out for that pocket. And I think I like this for the bottom. It's a little more fancier, so I want to use that for the bottom of my page. I want to use it for this part here because it's kind of fancier. So my pocket, this one, should I do it up like that? If I go up, it's kind of different. And if I go like this, I need to make sure I have room to make sure my magnet closes too. So I go like that. I don't know. I want to try this, I think. Or do I? It would give it a unique look. All right, we're going to go with that. So we need to go ahead and do this one. So for this one, I think I want to find my center. So we're at, so that will be my center. And I'm going to go 1.5 inches down. So I know the other one was easier to guess, but this one I feel like I need to measure it out. And, oh, I know, we're going this way. So let's get some tape on it. So I'm going to center, bring that down. And I think that looks good. So I'm going to cut that one out. So let's take this one off. Okay. So it's going to be a unique looking pocket. So that'll be, so my pocket here, so this is the piece that I cut. This will slide in like this. Push this down good. In my pocket. So it's going to have kind of a cute, unique look. Once I get the paper and you'll see it, that will be kind of neat. Okay, so for this bottom piece, we're going to do the same thing that I did on the top piece for lining it up. So let's get some tape, and then we can make our marks. All right, so again, I want this on the top, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick it underneath, and then I'm going to line it all up. So, and making sure I'm looking at my spacing for my black cardstock. So that looks good there. And then making sure I still look lined up. This. Yeah, let's get a pencil. So again, I'm just making sure my space in here and my space in there, which looks good. And trace it out. And I can go ahead and do that. Some more tape. The thing with this tape I got, I noticed that I'm using purple tape. It's not super tacky because that way you can pull it off and not ruin your paper. However, you can't seem to use it more than one time because there is no tack to it when you use it again. So I'm going to line everything up. So let's see. So there. Oops. Okay, and cut that one out. So now this one. Okay. And in my pocket, so let's make sure where we are. So I need to trim this one down because it is a little long, which is fine. So I'm going to trim it right there. All right, so I went ahead and cut out a few more pieces. So again, I cut the back of this the exact same way I did the front. So I can go ahead and stick this little guy down now. So making sure we're lined up, I can remove my tape and glue this part down. And I usually like to add, like, especially if I am adding a magnetic closure or something, the tape will hold for the most part, but I just like to glue in just around. So in case the tape slips, that's not gonna go anywhere. So glue this one on. And because I have tape, I want to make sure this is glued. And my little disc is right there, so make sure it doesn't slide anywhere. So it's my flap, so I can add tape to this flap here because this is what's going to stick the envelope down. And trim that up. Okay. And now I need, this is my piece that my envelope's going to attach to, so this can go ahead and get attached down as well. So this is the inside of my envelope. So I have a nice little border around there. The bottom doesn't matter because that's what's going to get covered up. And let's go ahead and put this on. So I am lining this up because this is going to be my flap. So I want to make sure that I'm lined up. And it should be just about exactly the size. It's just a hair under what I need. So this will be my part right here, and let me just give it a good burnish so it will fold nice. So there's that. And this is my piece right here, so we are all cut out like that. That looks nice. So what I want to do first is I need to find out where my magnet needs to go. So I can actually go ahead and stick this on. So let me add some tape. And because I don't want to worry about any of my tags and stuff getting caught on my pieces that are folding over, this is going to go to the back side of my envelope. And I'll show you 1 second. Cut all that extra. Okay. So what I'm going to do, so I can go ahead and tuck everything under. So it's just like that. So making sure it's all nice and tight in there. And once I know I'm good, I can stick it down. So by adding these flaps here to the back of the pocket, you're not going to have to worry about anything catching. So when you tuck in, when you put something in here, sometimes when you have these things on the inside, they get caught on itself, like right like that, and they don't slide over nice. So by putting it on the back side, it will fit right in there, and then it's going to close super cute. So now I need to add my magnet, but I need to figure out where my magnet needs to go. So that's where my magnet is, and I want to make sure I put it in the right spot. So a little glue on my magnet, and that leaves a little mark right there, so I know where that has to go. And we're going to put some tape on it. Just like that. And now this is going to go right on top, right there. So let's move the tape off. And one thing I do want to do is, just because that magnet is thick, I just want to make sure that this is going to stay down. So I just want to add a little tape here. And that's just to accommodate the thickness of the magnet while the glue is drying. Okay, so now we glue it down. And again, just like the other, a little bit of glue, just in case the tape doesn't hold. So I'll line this up. good like that. And then I have a little extra tape there. And then when it folds, it'll close. It looks neat with the little sides sticking out. So it says, hey, there's something under me. Very pretty. And then you can just put your photo mats inside and close it up. Just like that alone is cute. You can make cute little envelopes just like that. All right, so now we are going to move on to this page. So this is basically going to be made the same way as this is, with the same idea. But we're going to go ahead and cut out some pieces. So this I want as my top. So now we are going to work on this part. So this here. So I need to go ahead and cut out another piece of cardstock because I forgot for my flaps. All right, so we can go ahead and start. So I have my full piece of my 8x8 paper, and then this is the die. Make sure. Yep. This is the die I want to use for the bottom. So what on this one here is I'm going to make a mark. Let's pour my glue dries out. I'm going to make a mark up 2.5 inches from the bottom. Yeah, and there. Oops. Then I'm going to take my die, and with my 2 marks that I just made, I'm going to go ahead and set this on just like that and cut it out. So let's find my marks. And I can't see my marks. So it's 2.5 there. I would use a different 2.5. I would use a brighter color. However, this piece here is going to be all seen, so I don't want to mark it up too much. All right, so now I am going to slide it a little bit so I look even, and let me cut that out. All right, so now I have that cut out. Ta-da! There we go, our 2 pieces, just like that. So if you ever wonder if mistakes are ever made during recording, yes. So when I went to cut it, it slipped. So you can clearly see that it messed up, so I had to do it again. So, but it just figured if you ever wondered if there are mistakes made, there are. All right, so the easiest thing right now to do is the bottom part. So the first thing I need to do is I want to go ahead and add a score line at 1/2 inch, because this is what's going to tuck behind my page. So I'm going to score it 1/2 inch. And my pocket is going to go on right here above my score line, just like that. So that's where that's going to go. So I can go ahead and just tuck this under. And let's give it a good fold. So now for this here, I need to go ahead and cut out that die. However, I need to make sure I leave enough black spacing on it for my border. So if I go ahead and just set this on like this, it should give me enough. So I can line it up with that and then cut it out. So I know it's probably hard to see, but there are stitch lines right here from the die. I am putting the bottom part of the metal here, right where the stitch lines are. So if you flip it over, so if I go like, so say I'm almost, you can kind of see the stitch lines sort of there, but if you flip it over, you can see where it will give you enough for a black space, because otherwise, if it was exactly on the stitch lines, like where it was cut, then your black paper would be exactly the same. But if you just go up just a tad above the stitch lines, it'll give you just enough spacing to have a nice black border on there. So let me show you. So let's go ahead and stick it down again. And I'm going to go ahead and stick my tape on my die. And I'm going to the top of the die. See, you can see that this is not very sticky. I feel like I need stickier tape for this. Do I have stickier tape? Probably not, because my little princess takes it all. Alright, let's just use some Scotch tape because I'm going to cut the black off. Actually, am I? No, actually I don't, because I can use the other part of this for my page because it will match. So if I cut that, then I'll have this. Alright, never mind. Back to the less than sticky tape, because I need to save that piece. Alright, so let's go ahead and line this piece up here, making sure I have, as you can see in the camera, I have just enough black border here and here. So then my die will go so I'm using my stitch line as my guide. And then I can slide this out from under, just like that. And then I can untuck that, and I'm going to run that through my machine. Alrighty, so we have that, and let's trim this off. You don't want to pull it because you don't want to tear it by accident. So let's see if we are lined up correctly. And I am, yay! Alright, and then this part here would be the top of my page, which should line up as well. And it does, just like that. Alright, let me just ink this real quick. Alright, so I went ahead and added some background paper to my base page. So again, this is 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. And this is going to be my bottom pocket here, along with my missing piece. Oh, it's right here. Alright, so we can go ahead and stick this one on. We are actually almost done. So this little guy is going to go right on here. And what I'm going to do is add some tape just to the edges, because this is how I'm going to seal my pockets in. So you could use glue. You don't have to use tape. However, for the sake of the video and everything's sticking quickly, I am going to use tape. And then I need to make sure my pocket is going to stick, so I'm going to put tape on this side. Again, we're wrapping it to the back of our base page so nothing sticks. So we have that. Let's trim up the tape. Yeah. And then the other thing I want to do is I just want to angle my flaps a little bit here, just in case we're not perfectly cut, squared off. That way it will, it won't be sticking out. So then this is basically just going to go right on top like that. So again, I'm going to making sure we're all lined up. And nice and tight there. So once that is good, I'm going to stick this piece down. And that will be our pocket, just like that. So now I can go ahead and stick the sides down. Just taking off my tape. Now when I lay the sides down, I like to go from the middle and then out, only because that way if you go from the sides and you get a little, if you kind of put your sides in a little, like, I don't know how to describe it, but if you're not like all the way to the edge, your center here is going to kind of bubble up. So you want it to lay somewhat flat. So if you push down the middle and then go out, you know your pocket will be flat. Versus if you say you stick it down here and then you're not quite lined up, you'll get like a bow in your paper. So this way it will go nice and flat. So then what I want to do is, now this is the piece, the other piece from the bottom pocket, and I want to line it up, but I don't want it to touch. So if you can see the little bit of orange right there, and that's what I want to be able to see. So what I'm going to do is, once I know I have it where I want it, just that little bit showing, I can flip it over and just going to make a mark. So I know that is right here, my little pencil mark is where I want to be. And I also now want to go ahead and score that at 1/2 inch, or score that on the line, so I'm at the 6, just like that. And fold this over. And so I stick this on the top, making sure we're lined up. And we are. So I have my little bit of space right there. So now you don't need all of this, so I'm going to cut, I'm actually going to cut it so I can have like 1/2 inch so I can tuck over. Alright, so I just went ahead and cut that little piece off, so now I have a smaller flap. So I'm going to wait to add the tape. So for this piece here, because of my flap, I'm going to line this up where it needs to go, and I need to trim that piece too. So if we go like that, and let me trim that off. Alrighty, so now this piece here is going to go right on top, just like that. So let's stick this one on. Literally every time I start to record, my glue works fine when I'm not on camera. Okay. Let's get that stuff down. And just keep in mind, if you're using directional paper, you are paying attention to where you are cutting and the direction you're cutting. So for example, this is my top of my page and it does have words, so I definitely wanted to make sure that I am cutting that correctly. All right, so using the same method I used to cut everything else, I already added my back paper here as well as my tape. So, whoops. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and angle. Cut those corners off. And we are ready to stick her down. So making sure it's all lined up. And it does look good. So making sure I'm holding that nice and tight. Stick it to the back. And there we go. So we have that page. Super cute. The only thing left now is to add our pocket. And I'm going to go ahead and stick my pocket right at the top, just like that. And for this, I'm going to go ahead and use some tape and glue. I'm going to use both because I do want to make sure that it is going to be good and stuck down. And there is a little bit of weight to this, so the tape will help keep it stuck down while the glue is drying. And we are almost done. So what I want to do is I'm going to eyeball first where I want it. So once I kind of know where I'm going to stick it, I am going to go ahead, take my tape off, and then I'm going to add my glue and stick it down. And I definitely want plenty of glue on this guy because it is a very usable pocket, which means it'll get a lot of use, and you want to make sure it's going to stay there because you will be adding photo mats and stuff to it. So again, I'm going to eyeball it to the center and the sides, top and bottom. I think that looks good. Just make sure, careful when you are pushing stuff down, you don't get your fingers caught on your little decorative pieces, because then you might rip them or bend them. And there we go. That's it. So that's how I made this page here. So let's just move my stuff over so you can see. So a nice little pocket up here, which is super cute because let's put a bigger photo mat in there. So you can see right there. And then the sides say, hey, there's something inside, which I really like that look there. And then you can go ahead and put your bigger photo mats stuff down there and then close it. So you have that nice little space there. And then just like that. It all stays nice and tidy. All right, that's super cute. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is using the new dies from Crealies, the new XXL die, extra large pocket die, as well as all of these new gorgeous on the edge dies, the really bigger ones. So everything will be linked down below what I used. And anyway, my hair tie. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, Patty's Crafty Spot, or the Crealies YouTube channel, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, guys, happy crafting. Bye.